I think it's too much.
All right, guys. All right, guys. Let me see. Are we live? Hello, guys. We are live on location. We are not at my regular location. We are at Je ne sais quoi. We came here to support one of our sisters, Solar, and supporting her. Our time kind of collided into us doing the podcast. So, of course, they welcomed us here to do the podcast here, and this is where we at. This is where we're doing it. So, I just wanted to get on. We are waiting for some of our guests. Hi, guys. We're waiting for some of our guests. So, we're going to start sharing this podcast. But we are excited about our topics tonight. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Ready? Share, 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 y'all. Y'all gotta get on the share. All right, y'all. I'm trying to share this. Share, share, share. All right, y'all. All right, we got some great topics. We have some of our guests is on their way. Yeah, when I tell y'all, it's gonna be fun, fun, fun tonight. Laughter and fun. We have some guests that are coming on, and they're on their way. And then we have my sister girl is here. Come on, Kirsten, show your face. She is here to kind of chill with us. I gotta get some water. Y'all be having me do a lot of talking. Drink some water. But again, my name is Annetta Williams. I'm a certified life coach, behavioral health nurse. I'm a clinical director. What else do I do? I'm an author of the 3 Hours Reflection, Recovery, Redemption. I'm a minister. I'm a mother of 4, grandmother of 3, divorcee of 5 years. What else am I saying? I'm a breast cancer survivor. What else?
You're a wonderful sister.
Oh, she's so sweet. So yes, so we get on here as expert in our fields as well as experience in relationships, dialoguing, dating, just conforming with the life itself and living life in its fullness. So we don't get on here to tell you you're the problem or what the problem is, but we get on here to help you be able to navigate through life and be able to get to the places that you want to get in, being the best you, learning how to have healthy communication and being able to dialogue in a way that will benefit you. That's what it's all about. Benefiting you in the end. You need to be in a healthy place. You need to have healthy communications. You need to have a healthy mind. You need to be able to communicate with the opposite sex or same sex. Anyone. Relationships need to be healthy in this state right now. We have a lot of relationships that are broken and people can't find their way. The reason why is because we haven't learned how to love ourselves. We haven't learned how to be our authentic us. And that's been our main conversation today. So our topics today about dating and relationship. One is, what is your triggers? Okay. The other one is, help me. I'm in a dating frenzy. I don't know what else to do. I'm in a dating frenzy. Help me. I'm dating this person and this person, and I'm still not feeling like I'm doing the right thing. Help. I'm so dramatic.
You are very dramatic.
Okay. And then we have, are you realistic about relationship? I was talking to a friend of mine and he was like, well, you could pose that question a little differently. So my question was posed a little differently to say, are you realistic about dating? Are you realistic about your expectations? Are you realistic about your standards in dating? So we're going to talk about these things tonight. We're going to shoot the breeze and talk about stuff. So you guys, again, just give you the opportunity to dialogue with us, speak, shoot the breeze, do whatever you do. Again, we just want to have healthy conversation. So my sister girl here, let's start talking.
Come with it.
What are your triggers? And not personally you, if you want to share personally. Sometimes people don't want to talk about their triggers because in some cases they haven't healed from the triggers or they're just not open enough to talk about the triggers. What do you think triggers are?
Well, for me personally, I have no
Let 'em see your
problem.
face.
I have no problem speaking about anything truly. And I really don't have a lot of triggers per se. When you are a past victim of domestic violence, anybody who handles me in a physically aggressive way, in a way that I'm not used to or that I can't respond to or I feel threatened by it, will automatically shut me down. So if
Hi.
if the grab is too or the plane starts to turn into rough housing, I don't perceive that well and it shuts me down. And because you don't divulge your past immediately, then that may cause a problem in the relationship because what people fail to do is learn how to communicate properly.
Right,
And
right,
so then you see me shutting down, you don't know why, and now we have a barrier to how we are interacting with each other.
right.
Something that could be avoided if you just have the conversation. But in order to have conversations where you're really exposing the raw, rugged, and real, you have to have an absolute level of comfortability and trust. You have to believe that that person and trust that they are going to take your information and not use it in a way or assimilate it in a way that's going to judge you or hurt you.
Right. That's true. That's
So,
true.
and I hate someone who lies.
Can you hear us?
Oh, definitely. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, excellent. I want to make sure you can hear us because we're off location. So I just want to make sure we're at a restaurant.
Oh, that's nice.
So
Something different.
yes, yes. So we have Bishop Marcus Hill on here as one of our panelists, and we have Kristen Newby on here that we call her Kirby. And we're going to talk about our triggers. So we're talking about triggers in relationships or past relationship. What do triggers mean to you?
Triggers. Triggers, what they mean is things that will catch you off guard, but remind you of your past. And I think sometimes how we handle triggers is, or what we experience with triggers is, it causes us to have a fear. If we're not careful, we won't enjoy a new relationship out of fear of a trigger point. You know, it's kind of like when you go to the doctor and the doctor gives you a physical and they take out the reactor and they hit you on the knee to see if your knee would jerk or not. And it's kind of like once we experience something that is familiar to us in a bad sense, we will find ourselves kind of like, I don't know about this because, you know, last time this didn't turn out so well for me. So, you know, help me, Lord, right through here because this looks familiar, you know. So that's one of the things that I'm reminded of as far as what it means to me with triggers.
Okay, I agree with you. And I think that in most cases, some people say, oh, people have triggers because they haven't healed. That's not always technically true.
No.
Sometimes, like you said, triggers are reminders of what your past is and what you will not tolerate or will not go through again because it's a part of the learned experience in a relationship. Do you think that sometimes people having triggers and the triggers being so raw and real that it can sometimes hinder them from having a fruitful relationship?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Like I said, it's like our experiences that we have. And just say you dated at least 3 different people in your lifetime. And you got a fourth one that's liking you now. The first one may have done something to you and you was like, you know what, I gave that person the benefit of the doubt. You know, then the second one did something very similar and you gave them the benefit of the doubt, and then you find out that they was also crazy on top of it. And then the third one, you're like trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, and then it turns out the same way it did the first one. Now you got a fourth person that you're trying to maybe meet and greet and hang on to, and because you really like this person, and they doing something very similar. How do I get past my stuck place? How do I get past my point of where I'm like, I've been hurt, I've been abused, I've been compromised. How do I get past that when it seems like everybody you meet is doing something very similar? Because if you're not careful, you'll start thinking that it's you.
Right.
You'll start thinking that maybe it's my choices. Lord, help me with my decision making. Because it seems like everybody I'm choosing or that I'm magnifying and magnetizing myself to, they all have a similar trait that seems to align itself up with me. And so now we're in prayer, right? We're like, Lord, but wait a minute. I met Craig, I met, you know, Cynthia, and I hope your name ain't Cynthia, you know what I mean? But you know, you start saying, you start questioning stuff. So where do we go from here when somebody looks like my past, like something that's a trigger point? That's very good. Very good question.
So we have my sister Anissa on here as well. How do you say hi?
What's up, girl? I see you. Ain't that about something?
Hey, it's something to recognize. You got all these powerful African.
Oh, y'all gonna sing too? Yeah, we good. I got
Yeah, we gonna sing too. I know, because you got it all right here. It's
Listen.
good. You got educated singing talent, just phenomenalness all in one spot. But again, I always say, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, it's just my experience and feeling, that sometimes we attract where we are. Mm-hmm. And many times when I was broken and just recently getting out of my marriage, a lot of times you guys could see it because I was exposed. When I was broken and just getting out of my marriage, I immediately got into a relationship with this guy, and I was like, oh, he is the one. He's so wonderful. He's so magnificent. The whole time it was a million red flags that were shown to me, but I was in such a vulnerable, broken, and desperate state because I felt like, oh my God, I'm older, I'm divorced, I did 30 years, I'm not going to find somebody that could, want me. And so I ended up dating somebody who literally could not be able to get where I needed to be at spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically. You got Daphne. We got a lot in this house, I'm telling y'all. So
I see her.
I realized that I was dating under vulnerability, disappointment, discouragement, and brokenness. So I end up attracting all of those things. So sometimes our trigger will hinder us from healing because we are in a place of dating. And I heard somebody say to me, and I listened to this and I believed it. And that's why I started dating. The person said, well, the quickest way to get over your ex is get with somebody else. Big mistake. And I was like, okay.
That's not it. That's not it.
Who want me? Who out here want me? And literally, I had a little sign on my head like, who wants me? I'm yours. You know what I'm saying? So then I ended up attracting somebody who, in real life, wouldn't have never been anybody that I would have been attracted to. Mm-hmm. In real life, it would have never been. In real life, it would have been never anyone that, and to the point that the person started coming to church with me, and not saying that they wasn't authentic about being at church, that the common goal was, I want to marry you, that was the common goal. I saw it, but I was so caught up in feeling like I belonged to someone. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. There's a lot of stuff that you got packed in there, right? So the first thing I want to deal with is vulnerability, right? So when we go through a traumatic experience, what I found, even when I coach couples or even my own experiences, or I talk to some of the other guys, what I find is as soon as we're like broken from someone, we feel so vulnerable, like we need to just be latched on to somebody, partially because of our ego, if we're honest. Like, I was hurt, and he or she ain't gonna get the best of me. I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna find somebody more handsome. I'm gonna find somebody more prettier, maybe with a better job. Somebody singing happy birthday. Somebody got a birthday over there? No.
We don't know what's going on.
Somebody want a gift card. We got
that's what's up. That's what's up. But no, and so we be vulnerable. And in our vulnerability, that's when we got to be very careful of getting hooked up with somebody, because we will settle. We'll settle for less than what we deserve. And because we just we're so quick. We just no, I'm 50 years, especially if you're 50. You're like, if I'm only promised 3-10 and I'm 50 right now, I'm going to enjoy these next 20 summers, because that means I only got 20 summers left. So let me enjoy these summers. But we want to do it with somebody because we're like, I know I deserve somebody who is for me. I know I'm a good man. I'm a good woman. And I got all this to offer somebody who would appreciate it. And then you find yourself, like you said, you get involved with somebody who just can't appreciate where you are. They can't dream with you. They want you to support their dreams, but they don't want to support your dreams and your goals.
Or somebody who doesn't have any dreams.
Or don't. That's even worse.
That's worse.
Because now they want to stand down off the ledge and they want to try to pull you down and say, why you got to go? Why you got to go to that concert again? Why you got to sing again? I know I'm y'all singers, so I got to use that, right? Why you got to sing it? Why you got to sing again? You going back to school for what? right?
Why you know so many people?
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh Lord,
Okay.
everybody ain't. You talking my story now, right?
Yeah.
Why do
I
you know
remember
so many
dating
people?
this guy, and my sister know. And he, every time we came to like restaurants or went to like a live band thing, or he was like just so disgusted
He was so
because
miserable.
people would come up to me and be like, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, another guy, take a picture with you." Hey, he used to be like, "I'm here with you. You here with me. We can't never just have no time with it, just us. Keep people away from." And I was looking at him like, yeah, of course he didn't stick around long. But it's just a pure point that you gotta. But again, that's that part that we just got to talking about dating and collecting data, learning a person, learning the triggers of a person. What happened was he was so insecure from the past relationship and the infidelity that he automatically put that pressure onto me. So that's why it's important to heal from your past, because what happens, what you do is you end up putting added pressure on someone else or trying to have someone else pay for somebody else's crime. I'm not doing time for somebody else's crime.
I'm not doing somebody else's time. That's right. No, and here's my thing: is first of all, I had a life before I met you. Right? I have a life. I have a full life, and I have friends from high school. I have cousins, family. I have friends that I'm just trying to forge new friendships. Uh, you may be in business, you may be in ministry, so God has expanded your territory, and then this person comes in and they want to isolate you. So you gotta be very careful of people who don't want you to have friends either. My thing is look, if Bobo is your friend and that's only your friend, it's gonna come out sooner or later.
Yeah.
Go live your life. But as soon as I see Bobo hugging on you and trying to kiss you and you smiling and enjoying that, all right, I'm gonna say bye-bye, because I got things to lose too. And you're not gonna embarrass me and all this other stuff. But my thing is, if you got friends, I got friends too. Don't trip because somebody liked your stat. Don't trip because somebody hearted your stat. I'm so sick of this social media stuff, right? Because I know it's powerful. We can use it for ministry purposes, business, etc. But sometimes people that we get linked up with, they want you to support their program. But when they come on to your program and then people are hearting your message for the day, they look at the hearts instead of listening to the message, and that's a problem.
Right.
That can really hurt. That can really hurt the potential marriage.
I agree with that 100%. And I think sometimes I always say this is just, and y'all chime in, not just me. Try to keep your relationship off of social media. I always think it's healthy to do that. And I said this to a guy I was talking to because we took pictures, and he was like, "I'm about to post our pictures." I said, "You're not."
No, you're not.
My pictures. I said, because I'm not that I'm saying it's puffed up. I'm well known. You well known. Even if we're just friends, people are going to assume it's more than what it is. And even if we wanted more than that, you've already put a sea of ideas and solutions and assumptions out there for people to try to gain access to whatever we possibly can have or have. So I'm a firm believer that your relationship should not be exposed to the entire world.
Privacy is best.
I just want to say I've always felt like everything I put on Facebook, I'm very calculated about it. People believe they may know quite a bit about me, but they really don't. I share what it is that I want you. I invite you into certain parts of who I am. So I do music. She does music. She does teaching and preaching, and whatever. I invite you there. So there are certain parts of me that are absolutely off limits. So in terms of relationships, I'm a very private person anyways, which is so funny because when you are a public face, if you will, people believe that they should be entitled to the whole you, but I stopped it and shut it down real quick. I don't have an issue with setting boundaries. It's healthy for me and it's healthy for them. They may not realize it at that moment, but it really is. It's healthy for them.
Because everybody can accept the whole you. Sometimes people ain't comfortable. Like, I'm a lot to deal with.
Girl.
Somebody say, girl. Who said that? Somebody say, girl.
They both actually was saying it. She just verbally said it. She just was like,
She's a
I
whole
am a
bag
lot
of
to
chips.
deal with.
Oh,
I'm a
yes.
lot to deal with. I'm very assertive. I'm very opinionated, and I'm very vocal. And I may be a little more transparent than other people are. So for some people, they may think, whoa, she a little risky. But it's just because when you've gone through all the things I've gone through, I'm okay being transparent. I'm okay being exposed. But like she said, I also, because I'm so exposed, I have a certain part of me that is going to stay private.
Have to.
And
Right.
the one thing I think is going to stay private is the heart matter. That love I got for somebody, that connection, that's going to stay private because I'm not going to give you the option. Yeah, you could talk about me wearing wigs, different wigs. You could talk about me going bald. You could talk about me preaching. You could talk about me teaching. You could talk about my job, but you're not going to talk about my relationship.
Come on here. I tell people all the time. I said, you'll never know you'll never know if I'm even dating anybody because the thing is I'm going to keep that personal. I'm going to keep it private. The woman in my life should be able to experience all of me, my emotions, how I prepare for a message, how I prepare for dating. She should experience all that part of me. The whole world don't need to know that.
Right.
She should at least have a special part in my life that's not shared with the public.
True.
So that's why I tell people, listen, if you want to post what? Nah, I'm like you on that one. No. The moment they start talking about how they want to post and that's so important to them, I'm out. Because you're the kind of person that as soon as we get into an argument, yes. Because they're the kind of people that as soon as you argue and have a disagreement, they're gonna type, they're not gonna have any emotional intelligence, and they're gonna tell all your business because they have to run to social media just to get the attention. Forget that. So we gotta look out for that. That's a trigger. That's a trigger there. That's a trigger.
That's a true trigger. So
no.
Because everyone on here, I'm assuming everyone is single. You're single?
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand her. I love her.
She said she had to think of it. She was like, wait a minute. So like,
well, we single. We're
single.
If you're not married, just single.
Okay.
I'm gonna help.
Okay.
Help somebody.
Yes.
I'm gonna help somebody with that.
Yes.
Because a lot of times people be like, I'm not. You know when you fan you got to.
You got hot blast. I seen that one.
You know you're not supposed to say that to women.
What?
I know, but my mama taught me to be bold.
What do you say? My mama told me you got hot flash. Oh, you're not supposed to say that.
Be bold, brother.
I'm a firm believer. If you're not married, you're single. I'm also a firm believer. If you're not married, you're openly dating, because dating is like an opposed interview. So, which means you have interviewees. So you should be exposing yourself to whatever is open to you in a respectful way. Us all three, we're godly women, so there is a different criteria that we have to meet with the dating aspect. Mm-hmm. But I'm a firm believer, when you're dating, you have to date with a purpose. Absolutely. And you have to date with the understanding and date with intentions. Mm-hmm. If you don't do those three things, then you're out here haphazardly engaging with people that may be putting a spirit into you that you don't want to welcome.
However, I just know that apparently some people date to eliminate. I still don't understand that necessarily.
We just had a
robust
conversation.
I don't understand that.
Date to eliminate.
I can't stand you.
Date to eliminate.
Yes, he
you
dates.
Ever heard about
it?
He dates.
I need to see this person. I can't see everybody. Only I see.
He ain't over here. He ain't over here. But we
can you make sense of it though as another man? Because we don't understand
dating to eliminate.
No. Okay. Yeah. That's a new one on me.
But
yeah, I know.
But yeah, that's a new one. I understand dating with a purpose, but we gotta be careful with that word too. And I say that because I'm a single man. So if I want to date and go on dates, right? And once I get to the point of dating with a purpose, what is the purpose? It has to be defined, because everyone that I may be talking to or trying to get to know, they may think that they're it. I'm going to be, we're going to be married, because yes, marriage may be in my heart, but I have to take my time to see, okay, who's the one. Now, I guess the elimination part would be if a person is just not for you, and you just eliminating, and then I don't know. That seems a little weird to me, but I get it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It seems a little weird, but because my thing is, if I like you, and I'm gonna give you a chance.
Right.
Once I settle on one person that I feel like, you know what, I'm gonna give this woman a full chance to be mine, right? At that point, I'm gonna talk to the other ones and let them down. Look, I don't think it's gonna work, and I'm gonna give my full attention to that one woman. And it shouldn't be nowhere in Buffalo, because being in Buffalo should be nowhere where you can't go. You know what I mean? Now we might be careful about going to weddings together. I'll use that as an example, because once you start going to weddings in different places, people automatically going to assume that's more than just your plus one.
Right.
And they so quick to pick out their phone and get y'all dancing and be like, "Ooh, she got her a new boo. Look." You know, so we gotta be careful with it, but we gotta be honest. I believe in being honest and saying, if somebody say, "Hey, are you seeing somebody?" Yes. Are you dating? Yes. But as you clearly define, and I agree with that definition, dating doesn't mean exclusively. Until you tell the person that we are exclusive, you single.
Do you think that you should date with a time frame?
Yeah. I'm not giving no woman more than a year.
Really?
I'm gonna date you 4 seasons. I'm gonna see you through all 4 seasons, and because after a year, I should know. We should be working on the next level.
And what
Now,
would
when
the next
And what's
level
the
be?
next level?
It had to be engagement to be married.
Oh boy.
So
I
my
respect
thing
that.
is,
I can't speak for the other 2 queens here, but I respect that, because
Yeah, like-
I like to be
think
very
a part of
productive with
mine-
my time.
Yeah. See.
there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
You know, it's funny though that I find that that's very much an age thing, because when you're 25, you give someone 5 years in a blink of
This is
time.
so
Turn the
And you
camera so I
don't
can
even-
see that person. Who's that person? Let me turn the camera just a little bit so I can see that person. We'll move it back. There you go.
So-
Okay, I got y'all. I got all 3. There you go.
So then
She
you
like
don't
this
even
now.
really realize,
You like me? I smell good. I think.
you know, the 5 years have passed, 6 years have passed, it goes so quickly. But when you're in your 40s and knocking on the door 50 or 50, you can't give someone 5 years of your time
I
and your
agree with
intellectual
that.
real
That's my
estate,
point.
because
Behind
what
you
you
and ahead
want
of you.
has now been defined.
That's my point.
At 25, you don't necessarily know what you want. This is fun. You're having a good time. You're still trying to find
Right.
yourself. You're doing things with your career.
Mhm.
Okay, you know, we are walking parallel. Sometimes we're crossing, and it's fine. But when you get 40, like the games that we were playing at 25, we no longer have. This not Monopoly. Like, you know,
Right.
we're going to date. We're going to go past go. Okay, well, okay, now that's done. And so
Right.
now I have to move you somewhere else into my life, whether that's, it was, you know, great spending time, we're going to be friends, or, you know, there's not even need for us to be friends. Like,
Right.
you know, it's just not
Right.
what I thought it was going to be.
And see, I'm a little different. I understand and I respect where everyone is at, but I'm not a time dater. One of the reasons why, because I believe in just organic flow. And I believe with that flow, it may be a year, 2 years, 3 years. So, and I'm willing to lose. Is that sad?
Yeah. Well, here's my thing with the time is like, I'm 51 right now, right? So if I met somebody right now and it's like, okay, I'm gonna spend time with her. Well, first of all, I just lost my parents. I lost my mother, lost my stepmom. So I got to be careful of being vulnerable. I got to save her from me being vulnerable during this time. So I'll spend my time just dating, and then I might date exclusively. But it's gonna come a point in time when I'm gonna say, hey, I want you to walk out life with me, right? It may be a year, it may be a year later. That don't mean I have to get married in a year. It simply means now we know for sure this is what the whole plan is. Now we're walking like into it. Now it may be the second year we get married, but the thing is that I can't waste my time.
Right.
I can't waste my time
I agree.
because I'm playing with my own self now at this point.
Absolutely.
So now if it don't work out with this woman, now I gotta give myself time to heal from that woman, start dating another woman, and now by that time I'm 60 years old. The devil is a lie.
I get it.
That's right.
No.
Totally.
No. So my thing is, if you don't want me, let's say it quick. Let's not even waste each other's time. If you're not here, if you're here to play games, if you're here because you still got 5 different people you still might be seeing, say so. Just be honest.
That's
And
right.
say, I'm not ready for commitment yet. That's fair. Because that gives me an opportunity to say if I want to try and continue on. But if you just like, oh no, I just want to be down with you and just you, now that gives me another opportunity to say, okay, where am I at?
But even with being honest, saying that, you also have to move in that fashion too. Don't just say
Yes.
it, but you're
Yes.
moving differently.
Yes.
Okay.
I
You
agree.
got to say, I'm not really ready for a relationship, and move as if you're not ready for a relationship. Because I think sometimes what people do, they say that, but they try to be emotionally attached to the person. And that's
Yeah.
not healthy because that's giving mixed signals. So I think
Yeah,
people
and
need to be authentic about their movement as well as they are about their verbal conversation.
I like that because the other thing too, on top of that, especially if you got children, you can't play with your children's lives. I don't care if you're 50 years old and your child is 30 years old. That your son or your daughter needs to know that you are emotionally healthy in your friendship. You are emotionally healthy in your dating process because you cannot play with the kids either. If you're gonna be introducing this man or this woman to your 30-year-old child, right? And then next month, 6 months later, you introduce them to another person. Another 6 months, another.
And
Nah.
that is good information. I know when I had, again, I'm transparent. When I was going through my, after I went through my divorce, the main thing I said to my sons, and my sister remember, I said to my sons was, you are not going to see men coming in and out of this house. You are not
Right.
going to see your mom out here in the street living a hot girl summer or a cold girl.
Hot girl summer.
Good girl fall.
A good girl fall.
You're not gonna see
Skipping in the spring.
Look, it's skipping in the spring. You ain't gonna see none of that stuff because at the end of the day, I have entitlement of respect I have to hold for myself as well as my son and my daughter. So I was
Yeah.
conscious about, making sure that my house was not gonna be a revolving door for men. Even the men that I dated, and dated for 6 months or whatever, you ain't just get no pass to come over to my house because to me, my house is my sanctuary. I can't just expose my sanctuary to somebody that I don't know is a potential part of my future. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
I have to be conscious about that. And I think many times people date in such a rush and want to know what's the next thing. I'm looking for the white picket fence. I'm looking for the wedding dress. I'm looking for the church. I'm looking for this. I'm not in that headspace. One of the reasons why I said that is because I was married for almost 30 years. So I never got to date. I never got the exposure of dating because I got married at 17, 18 years old.
Oh yeah,
So right
yeah.
I'm enjoying the aspect of somebody's, courting me and saying, "Oh, I want to take you to dinner." I'm like, So I'm
Right.
enjoying that. That's crazy. I'm enjoying that coding and that courting and dating time. Now, do I think that? No, not do I think. Do I know that I'm a wife? Yes. Okay. Do I know that's the part of my life? Yes. Do I know that I'll get back to that position? Yes. But for right now, I'm not there.
See, and that's honest. That's what I mean. You got to be honest with yourself and say, I'm not there. But you mentioned about the courting. I believe that once you stop dating and you move into the courtship, that's the part. That's that it factor. Now during courting, I mean, at this point, you should know if that person can meet your children because you're courting them. You're meeting certain key people, and you're still learning each other. You gotta know what's making them mad and how they gonna act when they get upset. Because some people bust the windows out your car.
Flatten your tires, show up at your job.
Right. Call your job, all types of stuff.
Yeah. So we gotta. My grandmother used to always tell all the boys. She tell all of us, you will never know her till you see her mad. Got to see her angry first. You better make sure you ain't got to do something stupid to make her mad, but you need to make sure you see her in her mad state because you don't know how she's going to be. And in my case, being a pastor, I can't have no woman who just like hot-headed and want to fuss and cuss and wave her hand and point the finger and all that. I can't bring that to the house of God. You know what I mean? So, because how she treat me and talk to me, that's how she gonna talk to the people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You just gave me a question for you.
What was the question?
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, so my question for you is, do you think that it's difficult dating, being a man of God, and the position that you hold, and it could sometimes put unnecessary pressures?
It's different. It's very different. Sometimes I wish I didn't have the title. I didn't have the office in a sense, because I find that they want to, some people, not all, so I'm not going to categorize them like that. There are some women who want Marcus the preacher. They want to be, I call them FLWs, first lady wannabes, right? So these
They
FL,
want the title. They want the
they
notoriety.
want the title, right? They don't want the work. They just want the title. And these
want to be with you because you sing and everything that you're involved with. Consider that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I've had that experience.
Yeah.
Exactly. So for them, it's like, ooh, I'm dating a pastor. I'm dating a bishop or whatever. I got that person. Then there's a person who they might have want Marcus, but they won't have nothing to do with the pulpit, the preaching part.
Right.
So there's a challenge. There's a challenge between that balance of meeting somebody who is, holy in essence, and they want, everything that comes with you, but they got their own life. So for me, it's important that she has her own life as well.
Right.
Because I'm not the big hat. The first lady in my life, she ain't gotta wear no hat, big old hat and all that stuff, sitting in the front row and all that. That's corny to me, right? God bless the people that is for it, but that's not for me. You know what I mean? My future first lady can work behind the camera, be an usher. It don't even matter, because it doesn't matter where she sits. She's still who she is. It's like, you ever play chess? You ever play chess?
If you want that position.
Right. You ever play chess?
Yeah.
Did any of you ever? Okay, so the queen can move anywhere she want to be on the board, right?
Right.
That's how she should be able to move in the house of God.
She's still the queen, no matter where she moves on that board. That's right.
I need you to say that one more time for the people that's in the back and on the
And the people
side.
in the back. So the king is protected by everybody. So even in the house of God, the pastor is typically protected by everybody in ministry, the leadership heads, etc. But the first lady, sometimes she's stuck in a seat and she don't move. But that's not the way it should be. She should be able to flow anywhere in the house of God that she needs to flow in. Why? Because her primary goal, the queen's primary goal is on the chessboard, is to protect the king.
Wow.
So I can't marry somebody who ain't trying to protect me. Hey man, she might end up trying to get all the people to go against me.
Well, she definitely has a level of influence, and that's why you need to be very selective about
Bingo.
who occupies that space in your life. And
Yeah.
if you ask me, I'm just very selective with who occupies any kind of space in my life anyways.
Right.
And you got to be, because we know how strong spirits and energies can be.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very,
Spirits and
very
energies.
important.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And
very
like,
important.
okay, I've been to a couple of your concerts that you performed in down at the Trough, right? So when you're going out and you're singing, you're still pulling and being pulled from all these different spirits trying to pull from you. Right. So if you're not, at some point in time when you leave there to go home and cleanse yourself, now you're bringing those spirits into the house.
True.
Yeah.
So if your future husband or your friend, whoever, if they dealing with their own demon stuff, and then now y'all come in the house together and y'all trying, that's a lot of stuff. That's why the word of God tells us that a family that prays together stays together. So if we're gonna come home and we're gonna say, babe, listen, I was preaching over in Ohio and you were singing over in New Jersey. Now when we come together, before we get together, before we know each other, let us pray.
Absolutely, because if you
let us
don't,
cleanse ourselves.
I call it circuitry overload.
Yep.
So if you're
There you
not
go.
really, you know what I mean? You got to be able to
Self-care.
regulate that energy and yes, practice self-care
It's
and
important.
self-preservation. Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
important.
Even if you're not with somebody, you
Oh,
still
yeah.
don't need those wicked thoughts coming to your mind once you
I'm
at
like that
home.
right now. Yes, absolutely.
I shared with somebody, and
You know?
because we are in ministry, all of us, we totally understand. I shared with somebody a while ago. They were saying, "Why every time you preach or when you sing, you ready to just isolate yourself and go away from people?" I said, "Because you're high in the spirit."
Yes.
Okay. And so when you start to come down, the emotions, the vulnerability, everything is so exposed now.
Yep.
So I said,
Right.
you get all types of things. You start feeling, you either get angry or you start feeling frustrated or you start feeling overly sexual, overly sensual. There is so many different emotions that come in play. You have to go somewhere and just kind of shut down and try to
Better.
quiet the storm, because you'll be so caught up. Oh, you can sit here, babe. You can sit there. You get so caught up in just, all of the emotions. So it's important as you in ministry and doing anything that when you begin to preach, you begin to teach, you begin to sing, you need to take a moment and just sit somewhere in a quiet place and just calm everything down, because you do go over overdrive. You feeling sexy. You feeling upset, you feeling angry, you feeling frustrated. You just really have to, like she said, essentially overload. You have to take some time to just say, okay, let me come down for a moment. And I think even with dating, sometimes that's happened. That's why it's important after you get out of a relationship to take the time to heal. Take the time
Yes.
to love oneself. Take the time
Yes.
to understand what you like and don't like. Take the time to understand, you know what? That hurt me. That hurt right there to the core of my heart. I'm disappointed. That person didn't deserve that part of me. Why did
Yeah.
I give them that part of me? Why did I allow them to be
Oh boy.
to that part of me? Why was I vulnerable? You have to ask yourself that question. And I think many times we don't ask ourselves the question when we're dating, like, why does this happen? Why is this occurring? So you got to sit back and ask yourself the question. We have the wonderful, my nephew,
What's up, nephew?
the Reverend G Jr. AJ, the best barber in town. So he came on here. So we're talking about triggers. We're talking about, we don't talk about a lot. We don't talk about protecting yourself and dating, protecting your heart, understanding the gravity of your heart, understanding how to connect with people, and being cautious about connecting with people. How do you feel about that?
We talked about dating with intention.
And purpose.
I don't know which one is that.
And we just keep this open forum. Let's talk about dating with purpose and intention. How do you feel about that?
Dating and social media.
Yes.
I don't date on social media.
We're just talking about
Well,
that.
everybody.
There you go.
All five of us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes.
Let the person I'm dating be they're not even my friend.
Yeah, you're
I
not gonna
did
be my
that
friend
on
on Facebook.
More times than I can count. I agree
Yes,
with
you
you.
can't be my
I don't want
friend.
to be their friend on
Post a picture
Facebook,
every now and
and they're
again.
not my friend,
Yeah,
because we're going to share everything that we need to share anyway.
exactly. Face to face.
Oh,
So how
that's
do you
good.
feel about that?
Dating on social media?
Yeah.
It's a no-go. You can't do that because, first of all, people portray a life on social media that, number one, they really don't really live. And then, secondly, who they look like online may not be who they are in person.
Ooh. They said who they look like online may not be who they are in person.
So, and then, it's just, it's a dating with intentions, knowing. I mean, you got to ask the deep questions early.
Yeah.
Early.
What's the deep
Yeah.
question?
And I'm only asking because just prior to you getting here, we were a part of someone else's podcast, so we were in the audience. And some of the things that he said out of his mouth were so horrifying in terms of the questions that he would ask on the first date. I'm like, you're not entitled to know that. I mean, not at the first
Yeah,
date.
one of the
So-
questions was, have you ever had an abortion? And I'm
No,
like,
Oh.
I'm not talking about those.
Oh.
Right, but I'm saying
I'm
that's
talking
where
about
he was coming
The
from.
questions of, like, forget the abortion. Sometimes you got to ask people straight up, like, yo, are you mentally crazy? Do you have
Well,
it?
mentally crazy person, bro.
well, of course you're gonna
I'm
ask it
just saying-
differently.
no,
Most
you're
mentally
not
crazy
gonna ask
people
it
ain't gonna
that
tell
way,
you.
but I'm
Right.
just
what you're saying.
saying, like, you got to ask those questions. Auntie, you tell me if the
Yeah.
question, you got to ask uncomfortable
You
questions
do.
when you're dating people, because what you don't want to do is not know who this person is, and you know, wasted 6-7 months of your time because you ain't asked the real questions. Like, so be straight up with them.
But I said prior to the podcast we just had earlier that we were sitting in the audience is dating is about collecting data.
Absolutely.
And with collecting data, it has to be an organic flow.
That's true.
And I think many times people force something because they put things on a time schedule. And I think that we need to flow organically.
Just let it
And
flow.
some questions you don't even have to ask because they'll come
They'll come
naturally.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I was sharing with the person, you asked me, you like, hey, how you doing? Oh, hey, how are you? You want to go out to eat somewhere? Sure. And then we're talking and you're talking and we're gauging. And then you say, oh, you want to go to Longhorn? Oh, I'm not really into chain restaurants. Can we go somewhere else? You just found out something about me. You found out I don't really like chain restaurants. So now your thought process is, okay, let me find somewhere that maybe a mom and pop spot or something like that that's not a chain restaurant. You've learned something about me now.
Right.
Now you've learned that you can either say, I'm going to compromise with her, or you know what, we ain't going to go on a date because she, you know, she thinks she all that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's something where you say to me, hey, yeah, I want to go out on a date too. Or I like smoking cigars. And then I'll say, oh, I can see if I want to go to a cigar lounge, if I want to be around cigar smoke or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That is how you organically learn and flow with the person. Because I think when you start posing 5,000 questions, it's either going to be a turnoff or you're going to get the representative.
Yeah. You don't want the representative.
About the flow, I don't like pressure.
No.
You know what I mean? I want it to flow. Don't put any pressure on me right off the bat. You know what I mean? Now, when I get what I'm saying, now I said ask those questions, which is a way to ask somebody, not pressure.
Right. There's a way to ask them, but you also have to be ready for the answer.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to answer the same questions that you're asking. And a lot of people
Right.
aren't. They're information seekers, but they don't want to give up any emotional real estate. And you need to know the kind of person. Come on.
Now watch
say
this.
it
Now
again.
watch this.
You need
She
to know
brings
the-
up a very good point about not being emotionally ready. You got to know if a person is available emotionally if you're going to date them, because some people are just not emotionally available.
Yeah.
They're just not ready to reveal anything about themselves,
Yeah.
and then you got to make a decision.
But that also comes from how their healing process is coming, and
Right.
how, I mean, we talk about this all the time. You can be healed, but if you're not whole, you're not ready to receive
You're
the
not ready.
emotional
That's
love
right.
or something from somebody else. Because what happens is you're vulnerable for it, but you're really not ready for it.
You're not ready.
Because
You're not
your
ready.
heart and your mind play against one another.
Right.
Your heart will want something, but mentally, I really can't handle it.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? But my heart is like, oh, I need it. But your heart will have you in a place of, oh, I didn't mean to hurt him or her. You know what I'm saying? He or she. But my mind wasn't really ready, but my heart.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you can't do that.
And I feel
That's
like
good.
a person that is not emotionally ready need to not engage with it.
Period.
Right.
Because it's
Do you.
unfair.
Just do you
Right.
now.
It's
Right.
unfair to engage with somebody or try to be connected to someone until you feel you're ready, because now that person's emotions and heart is being connected to you,
Yours.
and
And you
you're
can
not
feel it.
right. You can feel it, and you're emotionally not ready for it. It's a disadvantage. It's disheartening, and it's borderline manipulation to
It
me.
is manipulated.
It is.
Okay.
And that's
It
why-
is manipulation.
That's why
Yeah.
transparency is a strength. You have to know your own limitations. So if we are involved in having conversation and having a good time, and I can clearly see that you're going down a path and I'm not, I'm remiss in my obligation to our relationship not to say, you know what, I'm not where you are, and give you an opportunity to make an educated decision for yourself.
Make it out. Yeah. Make it out. And you got to conform, you got to stick, and you got to guide to the out. That's why I always tell people, put people in categories and be okay with the category. And people get upset when I say, if my friends on you, I'm friend zoning you for a reason. I'm friend zoning you because I see no potential future with you. If I'm engaging with you, I'm connecting with you, it's because I see there is not just an interest in you. I'm intrigued by you.
Right.
And being intrigued by somebody means I want to learn more about you.
Right. So
Right.
people can always personalize that because I put you in the friend zone. It may not be them, it may be me. I'm not ready for whatever
Not
you're
ready,
trying
so
to
just be
offer.
my friend.
I can't receive that. You have an abundance of love, and I realize being with you, I need some self-work. I need some introspection. So I can't even meet you where you are because I thought I was healed until I saw how whole you are. Yeah, I'm not ready for you. I need to do some work.
Yeah.
I need to bring something else to the table. I need
Yeah.
I need to level up my game to be with you.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
So, you know, people have to know their own limitations and be willing to put them out there.
Right. So before we close this segment and get on, what would you tell someone who is single and out dating and they're looking to be connected to someone, they're looking for marriage, they're looking to, be in a fruitful relationship? What would you tell them in this season after the pandemic, after all these things are closing, things are beginning to open back up? What would you say to them? What advice?
Very, very simple. First of all, you gotta love yourself properly. You hear me say that all the time, right? You gotta love yourself properly. Which means you have to know if you still like going to the zoo. You have to know if you still like ice cream. You have to know if you still like art. You have to know, like, if you still are in a place where you can enjoy family, and do you like company? Because the pandemic has changed us, right? So do you still like big family functions, or have you turned into a person that only like a small segment of people?
Right.
And then the other thing is, you need to get to know the person, which means take the time. You don't have to rush. You don't have to rush for marriage. We all say we want to be married. Okay, now that's on the table. We both say we want to be married. That don't mean right now. Can we take our time? Let's get to know each other, get to learn each other. Hey, just because you make me upset, don't mean I'm going to run out the door. I got to get to know you. So if a person is always running, that's another problem, right?
Trigger.
Here's my thing. I'll chase you, but I won't beg you.
Ooh, say that again.
Say that again.
I'll chase you, but I won't beg you.
Yeah, I'll chase you. So I get the phone number. We go out on dates. Where we get to the point where we're courting. I'm already chasing you. I've exposed my personal emotions to you. I may have exposed the place of where I work to you. I may have exposed like how many children I have or how many siblings I have. I'm chasing you. I'm telling you, baby, here I am. But now, if you want to keep running, I'm not chasing you. I'm not chasing you. I'm not going to beg you. Rather, I'm not going to beg you. I'm going to let you go because you're going to waste my time, and you're showing me this early. So people who are trying to date, they trying to single, and you're trying to find you somebody. Just be ready for the possibility that they're not for you and you may not be right for them. We like to, I'm gonna leave you with this thing. Grace, right? So God gives us grace. And as God gives us grace, God is saying, no matter what happens between our relationship, I'm gonna give you time. I'm gonna give you time to fix it. You ignored me, you didn't pray, you didn't come to me, you didn't worship me, but I'm still gonna be right here. So I'm gonna give you some grace.
Right.
And we want to choose people who are perfect. We want to choose a car that's perfect. We want to choose a house that's perfect, but we never say, am I perfect for somebody?
Wow.
We want them to be perfect for us. We even want God to be perfect for us, but we don't want to be perfect for him. Because we can't give anybody no grace.
Wow.
We have a flight response. I'm gone, I'm out. And you could be missing out on a beautiful person, all because I'll talk loud, right? So a beautiful person, you with somebody who talk loud. He talks so loud, I can't stand him. Do he treat you good? Is he nice? Is he romantic? Does he have a heart? Will he pray with you? And you're looking for all the red flags instead of paying attention to the green ones.
Wow. Wow.
Just check yourself.
Right. So, what do you have to say for closing to someone who's looking to date and looking for a relationship and looking to get married? What closing remarks do you have to say to them?
Pray on everything.
Yes.
For one, I mean, pray on even if I'm supposed to even be in contact with you before I even. No, seriously, because a lot of times we overstep and overstay when something was just there to
Overstep
help.
and overstay.
Yeah, something was just there to help you heal, or maybe just help you see yourself.
People are in your life for a reason.
You know what I'm saying?
Some just for a
So a lot
season.
of times we got to make
Right.
sure that if this is what it is, God, well, you got to show me that this is what it is, because again, if you allow your heart to lead, your heart will put you in places you don't need to be. Because for men, for us, bro, I'm gonna tell
Yeah,
you
I'm
this.
with you.
Once a man open up to you, and
Oh,
I'm
he
married,
love you.
you know what I'm saying? But emotionally, if I'm
Which I mean, open up.
no,
'Cause
hold
we
on, I'm
learning.
about
I'm
to tell you. I'm about to
students.
tell you now.
Oh,
If
yeah.
I'm emotionally opened up to you,
Come on, say that, brother.
yeah, you know when a man emotionally opens and he lets you in his space and you know him, because y'all know y'all want us to know y'all, but when you know him and he's
Well, you know him.
and you wasting my time, we got an issue. But I
Yep.
don't want these issues, so that's why you gotta pray for everything. Is this who's supposed to hold my heart? See, women always praying it, but men gotta pray it too.
Yeah.
Is this who's supposed to hold my heart? Is this who I'm supposed to, okay, God, I met her. Now, what's the reason why she here?
Exactly.
Straight, direct, to the
Straight,
point.
direct. Yep.
Why is she here? And me, you know me, to me being a preacher, I ask him straight up, are you with me because you want to get closer to God, or are you with me for me?
Right.
Maybe it's both.
But at the end of the day, you want my spiritual side, but then when my flesh arrives, you can't handle it.
Oh,
Can't handle the flesh.
Earlier.
Can't handle
You get
the
what I'm
flesh.
saying, bro?
And oh, boy, you talking good. And when you're dealing with a masculine man,
Oh man, a
when you're
real
dealing
man.
with
Say
a
real man. Say real.
the real man, right? One that's really going
Lowercase
alpha,
G.
gonna tell you how it is, what he like. He might be very direct in his speech, but you can't handle it because you want somebody, oh baby every day. No, what you asking for is somebody to play you. You want somebody to play you and to do all this other stuff instead of somebody who's gonna say, no, we're not doing that, baby. We doing this. So yeah, a real strong man, nah. A lot of women today can't handle a strong man. They can't.
And be able to recognize what you prayed for.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of people pray for it and can't recognize it.
That's true, because I remember praying like about 6 months ago. I said, God, if you put a man in my life, let him be able to court me and date me. I want him to woo me. God, that's what I want. I don't need a man to take care of me. I just want him to woo me. So then this guy came along and he was like, hey, beautiful, come on, let's go to dinner. Let's do this. And in my head, I was like, oh my God, I'm not attracted to him. Oh God, he is not. He is just, oh
You should have
God.
said, Lord, make him look good too.
So then I was praying one morning, and as soon as I got done praying, he called right after I got done praying, like immediately. So I was like, okay, Lord, what you trying to tell me? And I was like, okay, God, what you saying? And God spoke to me, and I sat on my edge of the bed. He said, you asked me for this. You didn't ask for any of the other things that now you're verbally saying. So you have to be specific about what you're asking for in your prayer.
Everything has
You
to
have
happen.
God, yes, can he be 6'2"? Can he be light skin? Can he be brown skin? Can he be
You gotta write that thing down.
right? Can he have muscles? You just said, can he court
Can
me?
he have muscles?
And this man just like, he's so
You,
beautiful.
but he look like something you wouldn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just being straight
What
up.
I do is when I pray to God, I say, make it like a blind man can see it. That's how he has painted for me. Like he has.
She said what? Make it like a blind man can see.
Make it like a blind man can see it.
That's how I pray. He literally has.
All right. I feel all of that.
Mhm.
Listen, so I'm later now learning that I have to be very strategic and very particular about my prayer. So I don't, because one thing I do know, and a sure fact, whatever I pray for, it happens.
You have to watch what you speak
Okay,
out of your
so
vessel
I
into
gotta why I
existence.
have to watch what I'm putting into the atmosphere because now I'm getting back what I asked for. So I got to be conscious about that. Just as I have to be conscious about, I kept saying I don't want to get married. I ain't getting married. No, 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 no. And then one day the Lord said to me, he said, "So you telling me what I can't do?"
Ooh.
And he wants us all to, first of all, that's God wants us to be married. That's you know what I mean. Now some people aren't met, but we are supposed to. You understand what I'm saying? We ain't supposed to be by ourselves. We not. That's what
I'm not designed to be that way. Yeah, not by myself.
because it's not good for man to be alone. It's not good for man to be no. But at the end of the day,
No.
here's the reality. Everything you do in life is trial and error. I don't care what it is.
That's true.
So until you find what fits, you just have to keep going trial and error. Now, if you get uncomfortable with how you're doing it, then maybe you should change on how you're doing it.
Right.
There you go.
But I don't believe in the fact that nobody should be alone. I just don't.
Do
Now
you
you can
think-
be alone for a season for something you need to handle yourself with. But then after you handle yourself, go out and try it.
Ooh, this is a 5-year long season, Jesus. But
That's it. Me.
All right, but when it comes, it's for a lifetime.
For nobody
Huh?
else.
I said, yeah, but when it comes, it's going to be for a lifetime.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying. When that
I'd rather wait 5 years and get it right.
you ever been
yeah,
there?
didn't have a lot of hiccups in the process.
And you done
Hiccups, throw ups, and everything else.
So everybody else we can talk about this off the camera. So everybody else done messed it up for somebody else.
I don't think it would be a mess up because I'm not saying I'm not.
Yo, this was really good. I really appreciate you having me on. Really.
Oh no,
What if
we
the guy
we
that you
love
end
it.
up being in a
And I try to make
relationship
sure we
with
have other
desires
topics
to
to
be
generate
So you're
more
not doing it.
conversation because people really want to talk about certain things, but they are opposed to talking about it because they don't want everyone to see their vulnerability. So a lot of people send me questions and inbox me on what topics we could talk about, and we get on here and we talk about it. So I hope that you can come back on and we'll engage a little more.
Anytime.
I appreciate you coming on again tonight. My name is Annetta Williams. We have Bishop Marcus Hill on here. We have AJ Gumpton on here. We have Kristen Newby. And we thank you again. We had Anissa on here. She ran home. But we thank you again for giving us the opportunity to come into your homes, your job, wherever you're watching the cars, just to talk about dating and relationship. Because it's important to know who you are as an individual. So when you're connecting with someone else, you know the whole you. You know your triggers, you know what you like, what you don't like, you know what the potential of your future is. Make sure that you are dating with a purpose, dating with intentional, but dating openly and honestly and having healthy communication. Okay? So we thank you again tonight. We appreciate you all. We love you. We sorry for the sidebar conversation.
Sorry for being late, my people. I was a man that don't work, don't eat. So I was
There you go.
that I can eat.
See, this is a
But
good
I'm
thing.
still here.
When the single man is driven because he's focused on what he has to do because he's potentially great for the wife that God has for him. Okay.
That's right.
So
That's
I'm
right.
all about that life. You could be late because you already are driven
But I
and you're on a
still
path.
We
Hello.
What about the
Now that
man?
talks about that.
What about the man that say he coming and don't never show up?
Okay.
Oh, that guy.
None of that man.
Nah, that-
Johnny come lately.
Right.
Johnny come lately.
Right. That man ain't authentic. Him ain't real.
I told her I was
He ain't attention to nothing.
Right. And I thank you very much for being a man of honor, a man of respect, and a man of integrity. Again, sending love. Okay. So
All right.
thank you very much for coming on today, and I appreciate you. All right. You guys have a great night.
Anytime.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.